afternoon, beautiful beings of light. Welcome to the Crone Zone Conversations with the Ancients. Thanks for being here today, Miss SunPsychic Jean. We sure
Oh,
appreciate you being here.
Such a smile, such a great smile.
Beautiful smile.
thank
Always
you very much, both of you, for inviting me back. I love it when I'm here. I love just spending time with you and chatting up with you and talking about all things metaphysical.
Oh, we do too.
Yeah,
We
we do
really
too.
enjoy
We
it.
do.
Behind the scenes, we were talking about our Miss Kitty that came to visit me the night after she died. She meowed at me in the doorway, like she was meowed when she was angry and wanted her food now. The
Yes.
demanding meow. So that was really it made me feel warm and fuzzy. It was nice to get that message so loud and clear.
It is amazing. It is amazing the way they come back. I had, hey, Janet P, nice to see you.
Hi, Janet
Um,
P.
it was not my pet. It was my sister's pet, but I was always, you know how you need somebody to watch your pet while you're going away.
Sure.
And I would always go over to my sister's house and watch her dog, and her dog's name was Sydney. And so after Sydney passed, we all heard her thump when you get down off the couch, and we heard her collar jiggle, like and you knew. I mean, it was like plain
Mhm.
as day, and we all looked at each other like we all heard it. So they come through so powerfully. They have such strong energy,
They
and
really do.
they're just, oh wow, that just popped right in there. Your chat just populated all at the same time. Wow.
I just see
Yeah.
that. Hi, Viviani, Samantha,
Great to
Janet
see
P.
you.
Great to see all of you guys here. We're going to talk about gratitude and some experiences that Jean's been having in her readings. It really interests me because there's always seems to be over a few months a theme.
Hmm.
Just one, not necessarily the same theme all the time, but all of a sudden you'll get a group of readings where there's a theme. And I think it was angels with Terry, angel healing with Terry recently, and yours is with gratitude. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we all know and understand the concept of gratitude. We all understand the higher spiritual meaning of gratitude. But what I wanted to sort of add into the mix is the feeling of gratitude that we receive from the other side. It's very strong, very immense, and the one of the ones that I'm recalling right now is there was a gentleman who passed, and she was asking for a message. I can't remember if it was her brother or her father, but it was a male family member, and he just wanted to let them know, thank you for all the prayers. They mean so much to him. They meant so much to him. Like the community gathered
Wow.
together and all showed up at his services, and he was just saying, thank you, tell everybody thank you so much for sending me such well wishes and prayers. He says they make a difference. We can feel them over here.
It
They
is so
are
cool.
so.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I had
I
no
till
idea.
till he was telling me, and it was coming out of my mouth. It was amazing,
That is
amazing.
amazing.
And
Where
the
did all the
feeling,
people all of a sudden come
Yeah, they
from?
just
Mine just filled
flashed
up
and
all of a
everybody was
sudden.
there. It was wonderful.
Wow. Hi, Lark, warrior girl. Juan, wonderful. Thanks for, oh, Debbie Kane, great.
Great.
Love
Thank
it.
you.
Linda Day Gonzalez. Oh, you guys popped in. Alva,
All at once.
all at once. It was very strange. I don't know what's going on with my computer. We've been having sunspots again. Hi, Loving Life.
sun flares. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Loving Life is here. Janet, Viviani, and Juan and Lark. Thank you all for being here.
And the Carol, it's
It's
just the
wonderful.
room's filled up. I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
Teresa, thank you.
It's great that you're all here.
Yeah. It's so nice.
We can feel everybody's love. I hope you can feel ours.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very nice. Um, So it was an amazing experience, and it's one thing to understand a concept as a human. It's one thing to understand a concept as a spiritual human, and it's another thing to get the viewpoint and the intensity that the loved ones on the other side express and share with us.
Hmm.
It just really
Absolutely.
it changes it. It changes it. And I don't know what else I can do in order to share and convey the impactful feeling that comes through with these messages. But they are lessons for me, and I'm just so grateful that I'm able to hear and connect with the other side and have them share these messages with me. It's such a blessing, and it really does help to drive me to continue doing what I'm doing and to share what they are saying with the world.
Oh, it's so important for you to share what they're saying because, like I said, you're getting trends and messages, and that means something for the entire collective. When that
Yeah.
happens, you know.
Would you say that the impact, that gratitude coming through, that impact on you was kind of like the impact of love that you felt when you first started?
Absolutely. It has a lot of love. And but the thing that he said was that it was tangible, that they could feel it, that it changed, that it had energetic force, that it had weight to it. It wasn't just a thought or a feeling. It was energetic, tangible. It changed things for him, like
That's
he
really
could.
interesting because that
That's
tells
great.
you if they're receiving that kind of energy, how powerful we are with our thoughts about ourselves, about the
Hmm.
planet, about other people.
And they're just in
That's
a
almost
different
frightening.
dimension.
That's almost frightening.
It is. It is because they're only a slight dimension away. And we're having that much power and that much influence on them. Think about the influence they have on us when we ask for help.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty
And
amazing.
Hmm.
one time when somebody said, how far are they or where are they? And one time they gave me a description of that they are just a puff of a breath away. And they made me go, like that. As far as
Hmm.
that was, I mean, it was just a puff away. Like they're just
Puff
a
away.
breath away. And it was just so profound, so simple yet so profound.
It is.
And I know you can feel that. I had a dog that I had to put down, and I used to fall asleep on the couch, and she would nudge at my hands at night to get me up to go to bed. Well, even after she passed, I could feel that nudge on my hands to go to bed, and I knew she wasn't there, and it didn't make any sense to me. So she must have just been puffing on my hands.
Right, right.
Puffing on your hands. I love that.
It's a little energetic burst. It's a little
Exactly.
That
yeah.
is beautiful.
And our loved ones. And there was it wasn't quite about gratitude, but it was another woman's father had. She asked for a message from him, and she said he was gone. He died 15 years ago. So I said, okay, sure. Let me just check in with him. So I'm connecting with him, and he says, no, no. He says, tell her I am right here. And he made me point right here because this was her soul, and his soul was right next to her. He says, I'm right here. I'm right here. I couldn't be closer to her. I am right here, so close to her. He says, please understand that time does not equal distance. We're not farther away with the time. The time makes no difference to us. The day that he passed, he was right beside her, and he is still right beside her. The time doesn't equal distance. And I was just bowled over by
That's
that one.
yeah, that
Well, they do tell us that time does only exists here.
in 3D.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. I mean, I know David's with me all the time, and I know he's right here. I mean, I know he's right here. I can feel him. It's not all the time, but quite a bit of the
Especially
time.
if he wants her to feel it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll ask him for a hug. I need a hug, and he'll give me a
Aw,
hug, and that's
aw,
nice.
yeah. And yeah, so our spirit guides and angels are close to us as well. Hi, Loving Life. She says, I remember hearing that message. Oh, okay. You were there. Wasn't that amazing?
Cool.
Yeah.
Purple way. That just
Yeah.
makes a lot the whole difference, doesn't it? I
Yeah.
always think of them up in heaven,
Right. Someplace,
someplace up.
but not right next to us. And yet, anytime that I've seen them, they're usually standing right behind the person that I'm seeing them with.
Yeah. So, do you see them as well when you're, well, maybe when you're doing
I,
live?
I did have a ghost that was in my house when I was in my 30s. I actually saw a physical apparition. But ever since then, since I've begun the psychic mediumship, the most that I could see in the physicality in my vicinity are
Hmm.
little lights, little sparks out of the corner of my eye that I know is an energetic burst that someone's loved one is trying to come through and share a message, or they're showing
Oh, that's
gratitude, or they
interesting.
want to share their love and send blessings. And I see like little bursts of light, and it's not all the time. It's only a certain very I wouldn't say forceful, but very energetic and very determined spirits or
Right,
loved ones on the other side that can come
right.
through and manipulate my space, because I clear my space, I protect my space, and I don't allow, Aw, thanks, warrior girl. You're so
It's
sweet.
beautiful, isn't it?
It's an
Hmm.
A
abalone
butterfly.
shell.
Butterfly. Yeah.
It's abalone though. That's what I love about it. It's not
Abalone.
baloney, it's abalone.
It's not baloney.
I
Thank
love
I
mine
you.
love
so much I
abalone.
don't take it off.
That necklace is going to come off soon, pretty soon, I think.
I know, I know. Yeah. So yeah, it was quite profound. And these things, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing that, Loving Life, that you were there when the reading was done. And I understand that you guys feel the impact, but what you don't know is when I shut off the computer and I go to bed at night, these things resonate with me and they follow me. It's almost like an energetic form when I go to work, and when I'm in the car, and when I'm cooking dinner, and when I go to bed at night. It's like this thing that is like marinating and sort of reminding me, and it's such an impact. Like this is like I feel the difference. I feel the weight of the message. I feel the gravity of how important that information is for loved ones to know, for us as humanity to know, for us to understand the weight of the message that came through. It lingers with me, in other words, and it
Interesting.
lives with me.
Wow.
Mhm, mhm.
That's a heavy load. That could be a heavy load.
Do you have a place that you're able to store them out of your immediate vicinity?
It's not all the time. There are few and far between, I would have to say. All
Right.
the messages are very important and very profound, but there's certain ones that are lessons that are that
Just stay with you.
mhm,
Okay,
Right. I
yeah,
understand
that
that.
makes sense. Yep.
What
yeah.
other lessons in gratitude have you received lately
Mhm.
doing readings?
I had a woman uh, who there's her spirit guides and ancestors. Uh, I had no idea. I I was like, well, there. I was reading her energy, and I said, your spirit guides are sending you so much gratitude, so much love. They want to thank you, and they're just really grateful to you. And here she was. Helping those who could not help themselves. This is one of the most spiritual acts that we can do as humans, is help those who can't help themselves. And what she was is, and I did also see mushrooms. I said, I'm not sure what mushrooms mean. And she was a psychedelic mushroom technician that helped veterans and people who had trauma. And she
Hmm.
was a specialist, is what she was, not a technician. But and she did this because she loved helping others, and she knew how helpful it was for others. And just the immense gratitude that I felt that her spirit guides were sending through. And for her to hear that in the midst of her doing this work was really,
Beautiful.
really powerful.
That is powerful. That a friend of ours that lost a daughter at 21, I think she was 21, just did some mushroom therapy in North Florida. And I haven't had a chance to speak to her, but from what I understand, it was profound. Very profound. And I guess their daughter died 2 years ago. And it's just
she really has been struggling. So I'm glad that she did this.
Yeah.
I think it will help her.
And helping other people, that's what we're all here for, isn't it? I mean, truly, that's what we're here, to help each other. And I've had messages that said that as we heal ourselves, we're actually healing the trauma of our ancestors as well.
Yeah.
That's important. That's another thing that shows you how powerful we really are. When we can heal ourselves, we can heal our ancestors. That's amazing.
And I can see doing that because they didn't know anything about healing themselves. So it's important that we do this.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm being reminded of a gentleman who wanted to connect to his brother. And his brother said, to let go of the grudges that you are holding against those who you feel are inappropriate. He says, just because somebody wears their hat, you wear your hat this way. Just because somebody wears their hat backwards, you feel it's inappropriate for them to do that. And you're going like this, and you're saying that I don't like that person, and
Judging.
I have contempt for that person because they're wearing their hair, their hat the way that, not the way that I do. And he's like, man, he's like, let go of those grudges. He said, you must do this in this world as a human. You must let go of those grudges. And these people who wear their hat backwards are here for you to do this.
To trigger you to get, yes, they're triggers.
And I remember when I was teaching, they were trying to show how all the different ethnic people are, and that you have to take into consideration what kind of home they're coming from, because there's a lot of homes where the parents and the children just swear naturally back and forth. That's part of their conversation. Whereas in school, that wasn't allowed. Well, you're cutting off half of their vocabulary right there. And you're being prejudicial against the way they're used to talking.
Wow.
So you had to keep in mind that they were not wrong. They were just expressing themselves how they're used to.
Yeah. Yeah. But the way that he said to let go of those grudges, that it was an opportunity for your soul to grow here in this world, that once you get to the other side, it's too late. You can't let go of your grudges on the other side. You have to carry them with you, and as a weight with you on the other side. And that if you do it here, your soul is more enlightened and opened up. And
you have to carry those grudges with you on the other side till you work through them, or are incarnated again and go through life.
The sense that he gave me was that you had to not start all over, but you had to go to a school, or you had to go through a training. Whereas if you overcame these challenges here in this world, you were enlightened. And then when you get to the other side, you're at a different position and learning cycle.
Right. It's a different vibration. How do you get rid of grudges? Forgiveness. And that's for you, not for them, because they may just be the biggest asshole on the planet. They can be that. You just have to forgive them.
That may be their path.
That's their path. That's obviously what they're supposed to be doing, or they wouldn't be doing it. And maybe it's to trigger us so that we can learn forgiveness. Forgiveness is
and see everything. If we can just step back and be non-objection, no
judgment.
No judgment when you're watching it, and just let it go.
Hard to do.
Mhm. Very hard
acceptance
to
that
do.
they are the way that they are because they chose that soul path.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I've also heard that they said that not forgiving somebody or holding a grudge is like you taking the poison and expecting the other person to die. It
That makes
doesn't.
sense. That
It's
makes a lot of
true.
sense. Because as long as you are not forgiving them, they have a hold over you.
They're in your head.
Yeah.
They're in your head, making your life miserable.
And if
You
somebody
got to let
wants,
them go.
you got to let them go, because when they think about winning and losing, as long as you do not forgive them, they're winning. If you
Yeah.
have somebody who only knows winning and losing.
Right, right.
Now, forgiveness is for us. It's not
Right.
for the person that hurt you. It's for you, so that you can grow
And you can
and
let
raise
it
your
go.
vibration. Because
And let
anytime
that
you're
shit
holding
go.
that grudge, your vibration's low. You know that
Mhm.
scale
Mhm,
of the different emotions and how they are? I
mhm.
guarantee you that's at the bottom of the scale.
That's the
Grudges have to,
vibrations are not up high.
yeah.
No.
So we
Yeah.
have to, and I
Now,
got that message that was one of my things to learn here, um, through some of my channeling. That was the big one for me. Was
forgiveness.
forgiveness. I had love down pat, apparently.
Yeah, they said
But
that.
forgive, that's what they said. You got the love down
Aw.
pat. It's the forgiveness. And I forgave. I forgave.
Mhm.
And
And
it
it's
changed.
not
It changed
uh,
everything.
our own soul is able to evolve, but not just that, it's the energy of humanity that we're lifting, that we're raising, that we're
Mhm.
contributing to when we do this. Um,
Right.
when we love our enemies, when we love the people who challenge us most, who you
Mhm.
know who somebody is very mean and nasty to you, and to be in gratitude to your enemies, for they show you your
For the
strengths with,
lessons. Yeah.
without them
Mhm.
pushing against you and challenging you. You would never know what strength you truly have, and to overcome and to raise above the situation, and not be in this situation, but be above it and looking down and seeing it for what it is. It's
Just kind of shift your perception so you can be
Right. Take a step back.
neutral about looking at it and seeing both sides of it.
And like every time we ask everybody out there to send love to everybody, especially people they don't like, when you are doing that, you are elevating the consciousness's vibrations.
right.
Absolutely.
So you are not only helping yourself, you're helping the
The
whole
planet.
world when you do that.
Yeah, absolutely you are.
Yeah.
So that kind of reminds me of that they also in a meditation they've shared with me that they actually it was a being that came and said, "You silly humans, you think that you're the only ones that can hear your thoughts." They said that every other civilization, every other community outside of humanity is telepathic. We all work this
Mhm.
way. This is the way we began. This is the way we end. All of our loved ones can hear all of our thoughts. All of the ETs can hear all of our thoughts. They are all telepathic. And we are the only ones who think that they cannot hear our thoughts. So they understand our intentions, they understand our thoughts, and they understand our concerns. And they said, we will be moving towards this. And in order to be telepathic, you must be authentic, you must be honest, and you must be forgiving. And because everybody can read everything that you think, and they say it's important to try and bring in these practices now, so that when we do transfer over to telepathy, which we're all coming on board with all of these
Oh yeah.
psychic skills, it's going to be here before we know it.
You think it'll be here in our lifetime?
Yes.
I don't know.
That's what I got was yes.
I'm glad. I feel like it's going to be 100 years after I'm gone.
No. But it may be when we're saying goodbye. It's going to be a close run thing.
I think it's possible. I think it's up to each one of
Mhm.
us, you know. And I
Yeah.
think that there's like that critical point, that tipping point where,
The
you know,
critical
it doesn't
mass.
have to. Mhm, mhm.
Do you think that's 144,000 people?
I
I can't
don't,
believe there's not more than that already.
I thought they said
well,
we had already passed that point.
I think there's 144,000 souls. And how many experiences of people are here, you know? So I'm not, I haven't really had a lot of experience with that number.
Me
It'd be
neither.
interesting um, to meditate on and consider and ask questions to my spirit guides and see if there's any type of insight about that. But there's certain
Really haven't
things
gotten any.
that are very commonplace that I have not come up that I know of from other traditions that I've been taught that have not yet come up for me in this experience. So I guess in time I'll find out.
Yeah, I'm sure we
With
will.
time,
Hi,
yes.
Terry Suzuki. Welcome. Lovely to have you here today. I think we said
Oh,
hi
good.
to
You're back,
everybody.
warrior girl. Yeah, I was telling her you're talking about the NASCAR and things like that. Well, I follow soccer, English soccer.
Who said something about NASCAR?
Somebody on there
Oh, the chat.
in the chat.
I missed that.
Yeah. I was just wanting to let you know that the United Manchester won their first cup in years today.
Congratulations.
They finally won.
Wow.
I'm
That's
not a
really
sports
I know, and she's not. But just that team. So
yeah, I think that's lovely. It's there was a the so I was doing a reading for a young woman in her early 20s, and her father she wanted to speak to her father, and her father was communicating very well. It was a easy communication came through, and she was validating, yes, yes,
Mhm.
yes. You know, it was really strong connection. And, you know, she was tearing and crying the whole time, very joyful yet sad, and it was very emotional. And so we were reading, and at the end, he turned and looked at me and said, "Thank you, Jean, for the opportunity to connect and to console my daughter once more." And the love that he sent me, the feeling, the impact, and the overwhelming love just started welling up in my eyes, and I was just like so it was such a beautiful gift, and he only just glanced at me and sent me this love and then glanced back. Like, I was, like, bowled over by it.
My
It's
sister showed me that love. Oh my God. You can't do anything but cry. It hurts and feels so good at the same time. There's nothing that you have ever experienced until you experience that. You don't know unconditional love till you experience that, and how beautiful. What a gift. And that's how I felt when my sister, she says, I just want to show you a little bit. And I was totally overwhelmed. Just totally.
absolutely. So, it's just to, to have hope, to have understanding that this is a school, this is an experience, this is a challenge for us to practice these things and allow our souls to evolve here in this world. Um, that yeah, nothing. It's very important, though. He says it's very important that you do this here, that you do this now, that you do this as a human. It makes a difference when you come back on the other
Because
side.
we learn so much faster when we do it here. The lessons are so immediate and harder
and permanent.
and permanent.
Yeah.
That's, that's why they say it's the most difficult school, because you can learn so much in such a short period of time.
And yet, I think it's a blessing to anybody who, like you, can talk to people and can relay messages, because it gives you at least as much joy as the people receiving
Yeah.
I
It's a
definitely
win-win.
receive.
I
Yes.
love
Yeah.
that, Terry. You're so right. It's nothing like anything we normally experience here.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. And thank goodness that we have our community here that we can share these things with. And it's it's really, really, I mean, I hate, I don't mean to sound, you know, condescending when I'm like, yeah, it's really real and to believe, but it's almost like there's a belief that we understand it intellectually. We understand there's another side. We understand our loved ones are with us, but it's a different level of belief and kind
Hmm.
of being in that energy.
Hmm. It
And
is.
It's
it's
believing with your soul instead of your
Yeah.
head.
Yeah. Yeah. Not all the knowledge up here until you get it here.
Yeah.
It's just,
it is. And you know, you start surrounding yourself with more things that are in alignment with your goals and intentions
mhm.
and the energy that you would like to surround yourself with as well. And by doing this, we all are here because we are sensitive beings. We all are here in this community together right here, right now, because we are all very
Yeah.
sensitive beings. And trust this, that this is your way of detecting, of understanding, and of learning. Because you have such sensitivity, you have an awareness, you have this connection. And people who are not sensitive, it's not that they're right or wrong or good or bad, it's just that they're different. And
Different.
it's
Exactly.
it's important for us to honor that part of ourselves and to take really good care of ourselves. Um, this sensitivity, it's the way of the future. I think more uh, more humans are moving towards this sensitivity and coming in with this sensitivity and this awareness. But it really brings warmth to my heart when I see that there are so many of us that have lived on this earth for such a long time. And you know, all of us here, Crohn's and
Yeah.
whatever
All
around
the
this age
drones
group,
around here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we've had an inkling all of our lives, and for us to have this breakthrough, to have this you know, confirmation and this information that is at our fingertips at this point in our lives, and for us to be awake right now, and we know when we see each other, we know, oh, she knows, you know. And what it feels like when we're around people who are just clueless, who are just, you know, very much wrapped up in their egos. We can feel the difference. We can feel the vibration of people who are not even aware that they are a soul. They just think that
Yeah,
they,
that's true.
Hmm.
I find
yeah,
it difficult to be around people like that. I find it challenging, challenging to say the least.
yeah. It's
We
almost
tend
like
to
you're,
live in our shell. Now, I mean,
Yeah.
we are surrounded by people that are getting awake or awake, but
With you
we're also
guys here.
we're also
But if
surrounded by
right, if we go
non-awakes
out of the house, there's a lot of people that are just beginning to wake up, if
or
they
not.
or not. But they're in the very first.
And that's
And
fine.
it doesn't take very long to determine who's already working towards that path, even if they don't know that.
Yeah, just working on themselves.
Uh-huh.
They may not even know anything spirituality, but they're just still working on being the best they can be,
Yeah.
even if they don't realize.
And you find yourself making friends with them to help them along.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A lot of people need help. A lot of people want to talk about those things that they're not supposed to talk about, that are taboo, have always been taboo. Lots more people opening up to
Yeah.
questioning the status quo. And
there,
that's the key right there. Question the status quo. I've questioned it my entire life. I was always in trouble for questioning things.
And my mom knew what I was doing and what I would do. And I would talk, and of course, she had dementia. So you'd say it, and 10 minutes later, need to say it again. But she knew very well what I was doing. And we found out later, after she had passed, that she had been talking to my dad for a long time before she passed, but wasn't telling anybody because she felt everybody would think she was crazy. And I replied back, I would not have thought you were crazy. I would have thought, this is great. I'm glad you're talking to him.
I think that's why we're here. Just
Yeah,
to
me too.
normalize it, you know?
To normalize it. I mean, look how normalized it's getting
Yeah.
to be on YouTube. It's like, oh, it's just another day with the mediums. It's all good.
Mhm.
We talk about everything. I mean, 2 years ago, you could hardly find anybody to talk to about 3 years ago
Mhm.
to talk about these things, just your little group that you were.
And even
Working
then,
with.
you had a group, but if you could do anything, you kind of kept it silent because they weren't
Mhm.
there, and they all wanted to be, and it was difficult.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
just,
I think there's millions of us. I think there's
Mhm.
many more of us than we realize. I
I think
think
so too.
they have their own communities, they have their own pockets, they have their own
Mhm.
groups, and then there are those who are more of like the first responders. These are
Yes.
angels, and they have like their own vibration themselves. The rescuers,
Mhm.
the ones that set aside their own lives to help somebody else. And you know, just because it's different, and they don't, you know, whatever, they don't burn sage or whatever it is, you know, whatever it is, it's a difference, but it's still an elevated
Mhm.
frequency
Mhm.
and vibration, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
I agree wholeheartedly. Let's see what they're saying in the chat. We
Let's see.
have, oh, I love this warrior girl.
Wow. I know. I don't know if anybody had a chance to listen to Warrior Girl's rendition or interpretation of The Wizard of Oz, and it was absolutely
I
mind
haven't watched
blowing.
it. I have got to go over there and watch it.
She did such a
And
beautiful
she
job.
has the longer one. She asked her guardian angel. You're
I
right.
tried
It's very hard when you're in the thick of it.
to speak to his to ease the tension, but it's hard when you're in the thick of it. Yeah. Yeah.
It is if you're in a bunch of people that are not awake, for sure.
Mhm. But it was beautiful, and I'm not sure if you did any editing on that, but I'm just thinking like you could take each, you know, each scene or each point that you had brought up and really unpack each one of those. But she did the entire story from start to finish. It was
Okay,
very
I have to
impressive,
watch that. I've been meaning to watch it. I forgot about it. I've got to go watch it.
and
I've been keeping her
she
busy.
serenades you. She sings.
Wow.
And it's like angels. It touched my heart. It made me tear up when she was singing, and it's just so beautiful, so beautiful.
Wow, warrior girl.
She really opened herself up and really just let her talk about being authentic and sharing what's on your mind and what's in your heart. It was really very well done.
I
Yeah,
can't wait to see
she's a
that.
wealth of
And
knowledge.
I mean, we all know about different groups when we were much younger that were doing this same type of work, like the Rosicrucians. We're still doing this kind of work, although not everybody knew about it.
Mhm.
And I was so blown away when I was about 40 and learned that Walt Disney was a Rosicrucian.
I
And
don't
that
know what.
it's reflected in his movies and his
You're going to have
cartoons.
to explain what the Rosicrucians are.
Yeah.
Rosicrucians is a group of people who would go through ceremonies and other things, but they were basically working on themselves to bring their vibrations up. And they were always doing the shadow work to try to elevate themselves.
It's an ancient society.
Mm-hmm.
It's very old. My parents were members of the Rosicrucians,
Which is why
and
they
it
accepted.
has, which is, I think there's a lot of Egyptian mythology in it.
Mm-hmm.
I say mythology; it's probably all true.
And I think they're still
Everything we were
around,
taught
but
mythology-wise.
not a whole lot. But I think they're still around.
The Rosicrucians are?
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah.
They're around.
But they're like a secret society.
So, Warrior Girl, is she a moderator by any chance? Does she have a way to? I think that's.
So. Warrior Girl,
It
aren't
is.
you a moderator? I can't tell on here.
Oh, I
can't
found it.
It's in blue instead of black. No, that's just every other one. She is a moderator. She's got a wrench.
Okay, I'm going to pop it in. Oh.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to pop it in if that's okay, girls.
Sure.
Yeah.
If I can. I'm just going to paste.
Okay.
And that's the link to the Wizard of Oz YouTube that she did.
Warrior Girl can paste that in because she has a wrench.
Yeah.
So did you already do it?
I just did. It takes about 30 to 60 seconds, or 20 to 30 seconds, I would say,
to work
for
out
it to show
to get
up.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it crazy?
Well, I know what we're doing tonight.
What are we doing tonight?
Watching Wizard of Oz.
Oh, definitely.
I got
Warrior
Heather
Girls,
hooks,
Wizard.
Warrior Girl. I got
warriors.
Heather hooks.
Warrior girls.
Yeah.
You're going to really enjoy it.
Wizard
You're
of Oz scared the crap out of me when I was a kid. I hated those bloody monkeys. I couldn't sleep because of those bloody monkeys. I hated watching that movie. I did not like it.
In fact, when she didn't get along with her mom, when her mom was on Earth.
Guess what? I'm
so
not
her
a-
ringtone was dee 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 dee.
Oh
That's my brother's ringtone. Not
That's
my
your
mother's.
Oh, it's your brother's. Sorry, you don't get along with him any better.
You know, for some reason, it doesn't look like I am a moderator, so I can't. I did put the link in, but it's not showing up because I'm not a moderator. So, Warrior Girl, if you don't mind putting, there she is.
There
she
you
did it. We just
go.
did
Thank
it.
you,
Yeah.
Warrior Girl.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm like, why is
I'll
it
make
mine
you a
showing up?
moderator when I can.
Yeah,
since you have
after
a
the show.
wrench.
After the show, yeah.
I can't believe you don't have a wrench to our channel.
I know.
That's
I
funny.
don't know what happened there.
That's
I don't
funny.
know. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you very much for the beautiful organic conversation. I really wanted to touch in on the gratitude and the important lessons, and I also wanted to talk a little bit about. Oh no, that was Terry's channel that Warrior Girl's putting in. She's not putting in her own. I'm not
Warrior
sure
Girl,
why.
put it in your own channel, please.
The link to
I mean, I'm subscribed to it, so
the
I know
link
I
to
can
the-
get to it myself.
there
That's
she
no
is. She
problem.
said my
There
channel.
she goes.
There
Okay.
you go. Yay.
Jean, I want to ask you a question. When we kind of talked about what we were going to talk about today, what people are doing on the other side. What do people do on the other side? I don't know. I know that they have lessons, that they go to school on occasions.
Yeah,
I know my husband is fly fishing with my dad.
I know my mom is singing with my dad as the accompanist.
Yeah.
At the same time, he's doing his organ concerts. I also know that my first husband was in school for a very long time. In fact, when he came to talk to us through her, I don't know if he was out of school yet.
Wow. That's
He had a rough go of
He
it.
had some issues.
Yeah. He had some issues. Yeah.
So he was an alcoholic and died in a car wreck. He, literally killed himself on the road. So I'm sure that had a lot of healing that needed to be done.
And what he told us through you was that the reason he wrecked was that all the shit was going to hit the fan, and he was going to have to face up to all the stuff that he'd been doing. Evidently cheating on me a lot. Anyway, he was going to have to face up to everything, and he didn't feel like it, so he took his way out.
Wow.
That's what he said. And actually, in a way, I'm kind of happy he did, because had he not done that, there would have been consequences to me. So
Wow.
just as well that he did for me.
Well,
Wow.
obviously, that's
That's
the way it was
amazing.
supposed to be.
Exactly.
But yikes.
Yeah, yikes.
So, have you heard anything interesting about what they do on the other side? Mine are pretty mundane.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, they are sharing with me more and more. And sometimes, like, I don't ask this question. I have standard questions that I ask, that I put out to them, that I want them to share,
Mhm.
or, the direction that I want to talk about. And so it's up to the individual. And I notice that some people who are asking their questions are wondering themselves, what's my mom doing over there? What is she doing? And then their mom comes through and tells them, and I'm like, they've never said that to me before. They're telling you because it's been on your mind. And she says that she is wondering, she is concerned. And it's hard for us to let go of the physicality of the loved one, of our loved one, especially of our close family members.
Mhm.
And we still think of their physical existence. And if they were old and frail and in the bed and not coherent, like, we still think of them that way, but they are bright and strong and well and vibrant, and just the best
Mhm.
essence, the best time of their lives. This is how they are. Now, they can remind me to connect with the loved one of what happened towards the end of their life, so that the person I'm reading can recognize them. And
Right.
one time we said, "You're get a message from your mother," and I said, "She has short dark hair, like about here. She wears glasses." And she said, "No, that's not my mom. That's not my mom." And then one of the other girls, either Terry or Joan or somebody, said, "I see an older woman, and she has gray hair, and she's very skinny, and she's, can't move around." And she goes, "Yes, yes, that's my mom," where they were both her mom.
You got the younger version. Right. Right.
And
I've
I
always wondered if can do they spend their life more in an energetic form on the other side, or a human form, or
Mhm.
whatever form that, I mean, if we've spent lives on different planets, when I'm over there, am I going to be a mantis? Will
I
I
always
enjoy
figured they
being a
were in their
human?
prime. Whatever it was, they were in their
But
prime.
that would be prime as a human. If you've had other lives, that soul's had
It
other
may be where
lives
they want
in
to be.
different places. What are you? Whatever you want
Well,
to be, I guess.
we are just an aspect of our soul. So we are maybe
Mhm.
2% of our soul. And our
Mhm.
soul has different lifetimes in different universes, or,
Yeah.
planets, if you want. And we experience different lifetimes. And but it's all the same soul, but it's different energetic
Fractals.
beings.
I call it
Mhm.
fractals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fractals.
fractals.
Hmm. Hmm. And then we go back and we merge back with our full self, our whole soul, and we still have these experiences. We still have these energetic frequencies of our individual being. Okay, what did she say? I read a book once that said,
Interesting.
if a youngin dies the age that they're until 30, that they are the age over there until 30, and if you pass after that, you can go back to the age in spirit 30 years old.
Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not. I don't. It seems to me you could be anything you wanted.
It seems to me you could be anything you wanted to. But that may be true.
Interesting. Yeah, there's many
You wouldn't
schools of
always.
thought.
You wouldn't be over there always as a baby. I, she's
Unless
saying.
that's what you choose.
Well, I mean, she's saying that they would age up to 30 over there. But I mean, what's 30 years in that time?
Mhm.
Well,
Mhm.
Yeah, because they don't have time.
there's no
Mhm.
time. So
There's
how
no
does that
time.
work?
Well, I think that if you were to have a miscarriage, so to speak, and somebody would say, "Can I connect with my loved one?" And you would see a 7-year-old child, and maybe they lost the baby 7 years ago or 8 years ago or something, so
Right.
that you would be able to recognize. I think it's they age for us. They age to be recognized, or something for us to And there's no hard and fast rules. There's no, I mean, none of us are over there. We don't really know. All I know is
That's
what
right.
the spirit guides have shared with me. And thank goodness I
Right.
haven't had any young children come through or be asked to come through. I've have had many people who've lost their children, but they're either like 19 or older, that
Right.
have come through. And it's pretty impactful. What was the other one that I wanted to tell you about? What they said to me on the other side, and they wanted to come through.
This is
She,
interesting from Amanda. I had a reader tell me my sweetheart Ernest, among other things, fly through the grass with our daughter because it's fun. I had an abortion. She had appeared about 16 years old. Okay, that's interesting.
wow, wow, yeah.
Fly through the grass. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm showing these others.
Yeah, I can see where you would have trouble with it, seeing a light body.
Yeah,
Hi, Laura.
yeah.
Thank you for
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah, and it's just an energetic sensation. Like because they are, let's say if you've had a miscarriage or something and they're on the other side, there's still a soul, there's still your family, and they're still on the other side, and or that aspect of them is on the other side. And then when they present to you in the way that they wish. It can change, it can morph, and when you go back over,
Hmm.
and it's your day to go over when you go back over, you can recognize this child, even though you never saw them. If it was a miscarriage, it's like
Right.
it's like a knowing.
Wow.
Uh, my dad came to me as a young man in my daydream when his schoolmate passed. Wow.
So, as a young man, the same age as his schoolmate, that's kind of interesting. Wow. In a
Interesting.
daydream, too. That's cool. Very
Absolutely.
cool.
Absolutely. Another woman said, or was it a gentleman? I forget. They said that they had just recently passed, and that when they went towards the light, they told me that that they went towards the light, and as they went through the light, they felt a healing, like she had dementia or something, and she said
Hmm.
she could feel all the confusion, all the fogginess, all the that leave them as they were going through this healing light. It's
Wow.
almost like a healing light of purity. I know. And I'm sitting here on YouTube and I've got to keep it together. And I'm like, I've never heard that before. I've never heard that before. And I'm
That is
freaking out.
just beautiful.
And I hope it's true because my mom
It
had
must be.
dementia. My
And we
younger
all get
brother is
skinny.
still here, but he has dementia bad.
Oh, we
Yeah.
all get skinny and our boobs come back up, right?
Woohoo!
As we go through the light. It was so profound. And I'm trying to
That's so
convey
cool.
this, and I'm trying to keep things moving along. And some people are just there with like a blank face saying, what is she saying? So I have to move on and get validation, because that's not validation. They're like, I don't know that that's my mom, but she's showing me this, and I'm freaking out that it was just so profound. And I was like, wow, I can't believe that she told me that. And she has only been gone for such a short time. It was really, really very
Wow.
interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
It's
I
like you're
know.
going, I had a vision of like a waterfall just washing all that away from you as you go into the light. Of course, it's
It's
light waterfall, but wow,
purifying and
love.
healing. It's that healing light. So when it's your day, go towards that light. Um, One other thing that was brought to my attention recently is that a woman she had a surgery for a cancer. She had a tumor that was operable, and um, she was able to have the operation. And after the operation, the recovery was typical and normal, and she was able to recover. And she was after like maybe 3 or 4 months after this, well, yeah, So, but this has nothing to do with you, Heather, but it is similar. She started losing her feeling in her legs and she was not able to walk. And then she was incontinent and she wasn't able to do it. And here, what the surgeon said was, the good news is we did get the cancerous tumor out. The bad news is it developed some scar tissue, which is, pressing on the spinal cord, which left her bedridden. And she said, I'm so, I was fine 6 months ago. I was driving, I was getting around. This is such a huge change for me. And she was just really distraught. And she asked me to find out sort of the reason why this happened. And, it was very, very sensitive. She was in a very desperate state, I would say. And I just asked my guides to show me something that would help her. And here she had, it was a pre-life agreement for her to help her son. Her son had to move in with her and help her. And it enabled him to release some of his karmic debt by him sacrificing and helping her. She was helping him by releasing the karmic debt. And not only that, he was sort of like the one that would call, like maybe once a month or twice a month. He would call and say, "Hey, Mom, how you doing?" But now he's hands on, taking care of her all around the clock. And his ability to, his empathy and his sensitivity and his understanding and compassion had grown so much. And she was like, I had never thought about that. Like, I'd never thought that this was something that happened to me. She had never thought that it might be something helping other people. And I've heard this about other people who have ailments and things that sometimes we agree before we come into this life.
People around them, the lessons. Yes.
Let's see.
Perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that it makes it any easier, but it
No.
it almost gives a little bit of understanding, that that we don't always understand why things happen and the way that things look. And it's important to give people the benefit of the doubt and to give them grace and to love your enemies for the lessons that they teach us,
True.
Yeah.
That's absolutely right. You have to love your enemy for what they've taught you, or at least forgive them. At least forgiveness, because we don't know what everybody's contract is. We have no idea. We all have these contracts involving so many other human beings and people on the other side, and I don't know what your contract is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just love you and let you be whoever you are, okay?
Yeah, ditto. Right back
That's
at
what
you.
we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And
ladies, it's 4
yeah.
o'clock.
Okay.
It's 4
Yep.
o'clock. Do
Well,
you have anything else?
Any
It's-
more
it's-
words of wisdom?
It's been just a wonderful discussion and such a pleasure
Thank you.
to be able to share these very impactful lessons that I've learned that that just give me such perspective and really humble me, and the ability that I have to convey these ideas. And I learn and benefit and heal from all of these messages as
I
well.
think that's
And we do
important.
too.
I think that's important.
Just as much as you did, we do.
Yeah.
We, at the same
That's
time.
important for all
It's
of
important.
us to know.
There's a reason for the show the way it is
Mhm.
and what happens on it. There's a reason.
Always. There's a
Yeah.
reason for everything, and we know that,
Mhm.
even though we don't like them sometimes.
Yes.
Was there something you wanted me to post up there?
Well, they're just asking if you're doing readings. I don't know. I don't think they have the card cam.
No, not with
hooked up.
We
Not
can't
with-
figure out how to hook Card Cam up with StreamYard. One of these days I'll figure it out, but right now it does not show up as being available, and we don't know why.
and we do our readings on Tuesday and Saturday when it's just us.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she is doing readings on online, but getting her appointment set up has been a bit of a hit and miss because of
They
doctor's appointments.
that
It's like we
throw
have so
everything.
many calendars now. We have our Apple Calendar, and now we have the what is it you use for appointments?
Square.
Square.
The Square,
So we have
yeah.
that Square one. So I'm going to have to start putting all of our stuff into Square.
And like I start PT tomorrow. Well, hopefully we'll get some kind of a program that we can go ahead and block that off. You know,
No, I can, and I can. That's what I'm talking about.
right?
I just
So
have
we
to
need
figure
to.
it out.
Yeah, but they haven't given me a schedule yet, so maybe they will tomorrow.
But I just want to thank everybody for being here, and thank our lovely friend Jean for sharing your experiences.
Thank you so much.
Please
It's been
come back
so
and do it
interesting
again.
and so much insight in it.
Yes, so much love and help.
Yes.
I love that. Where are you
Thank
going
you.
next? When are you on next, Jean?
We're on tomorrow night on Joan Wisdom Seeker Joan's channel, and you can just Google Wisdom, or actually in YouTube, just Wisdom Seeker Joan, and you'll go to the page, and you can subscribe over there. We'll be over there at 4:30 Eastern and 1:30 Pacific.
Fantastic. That sounds good. Anything else this week?
That's as far.
I don't even know what we're doing. What do we do? What's our Tuesday show, Heather?
Tuesday.
Yeah, it looks like
that one was. Oh, that's the one the week after. It's the Masters.
Oh yeah,
Friday.
Tuesday we're going to do about the
General.
general show on Ascended Masters.
Yeah.
And what are you doing on Friday?
Friday the 3rd at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. We will be on Terry Suzuki's channel, Kigaru Spiritual
Fun.
Journeys, with Terry Lee. So it's Terry, and I on
And
Fridays.
we
Perfect.
have Wisdom Joan.
That's always fun. We have Joan next Sunday on the 5th. Oh, no,
No,
the 5th
Friday.
is Valerie Bradshaw.
It's on
and-
Friday.
Joan's on Friday,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not on my computer. Eek!
Well, it was on that calendar, so it's on mine.
Oh, it's
we have
crazy,
so
isn't
it's
it?
it's crazy. We're double checking different calendars to make sure we've got everything we're supposed to have.
One of these days it'll get sorted.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And then we're all back to do the Wisdom Circle on
Right.
Monday the 6th.
Monday the 6th. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Believe
Yes,
it.
that will be
Terry
great.
Suzuki will be doing her presentation.
Terry
Yes.
Suzuki will be doing her presentation on
Just a second.
Astral
Travel.
Astral Travel.
Yes.
That's right. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, we have talked about that together once in a while.
You guys be sure and show up for that. That'll be wonderful. And it's always
Mm.
fun for the 6 of us to be together too.
Yes. So many different points of
Viewpoint,
view
yeah.
and
It's really good.
things.
So goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We love you and thank you for being here today. And as soon as I can find my arrow,
And
we're
send your
going-
love out to everybody.
and go
Yes.
out there and shine your light.
Or as Tiny Tim would say, God bless us, everyone.
Bye, all. Have a great week.